I wanted to talk about kinks and fetishes as a trauma response. Anything you experience in this life and you can't process, you suppress into your subconscious, which then goes in your body's nervous system, which is processing at a faster rate than your conscious mind can. So anything that happens to you in a traumatic way is then repackaged in a sense. It's like taking a lump of coal, putting it in a box and wrapping it in wrapping paper, and your body going, hey, here's a gift. It's because it's trying to get you to face that trauma that you've repressed on a subconscious level, because no one wants to face the trauma. So it's your body's way of tricking you. And any kind of kink or fetish can point you in the direction of a traumatic event that happened in your past, and it's something you need to look at and process. This isn't to say, in a sense, shame anyone in any way. It's more so go and engage in the activity if you want to, but also reflect on why you have this expression, because your body is processing this as an expression of love. And this could be anything from a mild sense to more extreme senses of BDSM and, the extreme end. Now, think about why this has happened and where you lean. Do you lean more on the submissive or the dominant side? And how does this relate to the wound that you sustained in childhood? Was your will and your expression as an individual and your own needs not met and essentially violated and stepped on for another person, most likely your caregiver, because they wanted to impose their will on you? So you now carry this wound of violation with you as you grow up. And how does this express itself in a dominant or submissive way? And then you can go and look as far as what other aspects happen to you and how are they expressed. So, for example, if someone has a fetish where they like to be degraded, then maybe their parents never gave them the acknowledgement that they felt that they deserved, and now their inner child carries that wound. Another one would be, let's go with a common one, getting spanked. If someone likes to get spanked in the bedroom, then this could be a manifestation of either their inner child's want and need for discipline. And I don't mean like you shouldn't hit children, but that the parent needed to provide some sort of structure for the child while they were growing up and they didn't. And now this manifests as that expression of liking to get spanked in the bedroom. And you can also take a look at your inner dialogue. If something bad happens and you immediately start criticizing yourself, this inner critic is essentially taking the role of our parent and how we were raised. So if your inner critic is immediately berating you when you mess up and using essentially psychological force to berate you, then look at how this fetish might be an expression of that inner dialogue that you have carried over. So if you start to catch that inner critic when you think that way and make room for a more healthy expression, essentially learning to reparent yourself, you can see how this kink or fetish is a carryover from that way that you were raised. And as you engage in this healthier practice of inner dialogue, then this fetish will no longer be perhaps in as such an extreme expression. And again, this isn't to say you should outright avoid any sort of kinks or fetishes at all. It's like a mosquito bite. If you start scratching the mosquito bite, it'll feel good. If you keep scratching the mosquito bite, then it's going to start to bleed. This is what you're doing, in a sense, to a psychological wound. If you engage with it up into a point, you are actually facing the trauma. If you engage with it too much, then you are simply reinforcing the psychological wound, perpetuating the cycle. So I hope this video was enlightening and shared some important lines of thought that you normally wouldn't have given, credence to.